What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. Holiday travel and New Year's Eve travel, people trying to get back from the holidays, not going so well as thousands of people are still stranded, and it's getting ugly as Southwest is canceling thousands of flights every single day, and this it's not even because of the storm. We'll go over that here. We got a lot to go over here in this video. President Biden is going to be posing possible restrictions on people coming from China. That's right. Let's jump right in. Thank you so much for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps out our YouTube channel. And if you haven't yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on new videos. It's completely free to do so. All right, here we go. Yeah, Southwest Airlines really dropped the ball and is causing national attention, looking to restore its flight schedule by Friday after having canceled more than 15,000 flights over the last week. That's unbelievable. The airlines only canceled 39 flights for Friday, but they have shut down nearly 2,400 flights on Thursday and 2,500 flights here on Wednesday. And it's not even weather related. It's not even weather related. Their chief operating officer said, quote, "Right now it looks like a pretty smooth operation as we head into this transition tomorrow to allow us to resume operations on Friday at our normal schedule." I don't know what they consider a pretty smooth operation, but canceling 15,000 flights doesn't seem like a pretty smooth operation to me. You can let me know your thoughts in the comments, but it seems like an absolute travesty. Southwest's archaic scheduling systems, which probably haven't been updated in a decade, went haywire after winter storms hit its hubs in Denver and Chicago, making it difficult to route pilots and flight attendants to the right planes. The airline was forced to cancel nearly 2/3 of its flights for much of the week to restore stability. I mean, the weather's been over for days now. A systematic failure of Southwest airline leaders to modernize, support, and staff its operations leaves every frontline employee, pilots included, tired of apologizing to our passengers. Yeah, you got to feel bad for those people because these people traveling are probably irate and taking it out on all those people, right? The meltdown, which has disrupted the holiday plans of millions, has drawn federal scrutiny, including Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, who has pledged to ensure that stranded travelers are reimbursed for unexpected food, travel, and lodging costs. Yeah, so think of the amount of money here that Southwest is losing, and they're going to potentially have to reimburse for more than just the cost of the airline ticket, which really doesn't cost them much because they're just giving them their money back. But they're going to have to pay all these employees. They're going to have to reimburse for hotel rooms and other food vouchers and stuff like that. So that's where they're going to really start to incur some major losses. Let me know your thoughts on this. Next up, the U.S. to impose new restrictions on travelers from China amid their basically pandemic outbreak here. This comes as China estimates that their COVID surge is infecting 37 million people per day, potentially every single day, adding that exponentially here. This coming from Bloomberg News. So 37 people per day up to. Pretty massive. Think about that. That's unbelievable, the amount of people that is. I mean, I can't even go over how high of a number that is. That would be 100 million people in 3 days. We've had 100 million people that have tested positive here in the U.S. ever. That would be 100 million people in 3 days. I mean, China has a lot of people. And the Biden administration is planning new virus precautions on travelers arriving from China due to a surge in COVID cases and concerns about the lack of transparent reporting data from the country, which they have always had. They've never really reported their data. Federal health officials said here on Wednesday. Beginning January 5th, I don't know why they're going to wait till then, but that's what they're doing. All air passengers at least 2 years old originating from China will be required to show a negative COVID test no more than 2 days old before their departure from China, Hong Kong, or Macau. Yeah, so I mean, you guys can let me know your thoughts on this. Personally, I don't see a problem with this. There is some hypocrisy here, though, because, and you know me, I don't pick sides. I'm not right. I'm not left. I just literally call things as I see it. You could see this headline here from Fox News. Biden to regulate travel from China after previously calling Trump xenophobic. Biden in 2020 suggested that Trump's restriction on travel from China over COVID were xenophobic. And I mean, this is kind of what Biden is doing now. Yeah, the White House announced Wednesday it will require travelers from China to test negative for the virus prior to arrival in China, a policy that will come less than 3 years after candidate Joe Biden suggested that then President Donald Trump's restrictions on travel from China were xenophobic. So you guys can let me know your thoughts here on that. Travelers from China, regardless of nationality, will need to show a negative test taken no more than 2 days prior to their flight. Japan and India have established similar restrictions as China has loosened its zero COVID lockdown policies in recent weeks. And China requires travelers from the US to test negative. So, I mean, if China requires it, I don't see any reason why the US shouldn't require it. And again, personally, this really doesn't have anything to do with Biden or with Trump or with any race or nationality or anything along those lines. It's just a realistic, again, I consider myself a realist, not really either party, just a practical matter. If other countries, if you travel to China and they say you need a negative test, why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? Especially if China's having 37 million people potentially per day being reported by Bloomberg News, one of the largest news, outlets out there saying this. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? So we're going to be requiring negative tests from them. And the other problem here is that they're like one of the largest populations in the world, them and India, over 1 billion people there, 3 times more of the population than the United States. Wow, look at the trees over there. It's really blowing out there. They have over 3 times the population of us, and yet the amount of COVID cases that they have reported is like nothing. I'll show you here. Okay, so you can see here the United States, we have had 100 million people test positive and 1.1 million deaths. Okay, I've seen a lot of comments in the comment section of people who have lost loved ones here directly in our comment section. People who have family members that have died from this virus or from complications from this virus. Now, 100 million is probably very light. Okay, so this is only people that went to official testing facilities or hospitals or something like that. If you took an at-home test and didn't then send the test results in, which is probably a lot of people, this is probably a lot higher. Or if you got the virus and didn't test for it, I mean, this could be 150 million people. This could be 200 million people. We don't know. population in the US is probably somewhere around 330 million people. We know it's at least 100 million people that have caught the virus, okay? In fact, when we look at here, just December 28th, we had 122,000, almost 123,000 people test positive just here yesterday, just in one day. So this is still going on. There's still a lot of people testing positive. It's going around right now pretty decently. Remember that we just caught it here a month ago at Disney. My brother just caught it here right before Christmas. In fact, he didn't come over here on Christmas because him and his fiance caught it. And I think um, her daughter and stuff like that caught it as well. So it's going around here, guys. Don't think this virus is over because it's not. Because it's not. So, stay safe out there. They say that the virus is a little bit weaker now, but so hopefully it's not killing as many people. But now here's what I want to show you guys. Okay, here's the United States we've had 100 million cases here. Okay, Google's changed the look of this. It's not I like the way they showed this earlier here, but Google's changed the look of this here, and there's been 658 million cases reported here worldwide, and 6.6 million deaths worldwide from this virus. That's how serious this is, guys. And 1 million deaths from the U.S. 1 million deaths from the U.S., 6.6 million deaths worldwide. Just to give you an idea here, the 1918 H1N1, you know it as the Spanish flu. The Spanish flu in 1918 actually killed an estimated 50 million people worldwide. 50 million people worldwide. In the US, it actually only killed an estimated 675,000 people. So that particular virus actually killed about 49 million people in other countries, probably due to them back in 1918 having terrible, terrible medicine and medical. Not that our U.S. medicine was that great in 1918, but imagine how much worse it was in second and third world countries, or even first world countries, and even like cleanliness and something. But what I wanted to show you there is that viruses can get really bad, because in 1918, the Spanish flu killed 50 million people. Okay, this virus, the coronavirus, has already killed 6.6 million people worldwide. Okay, so a lot of people say, "Oh, this can't be real. This can't be real." Well, the Spanish flu did about 50 million people. Okay, but what I want to show you here, besides that, is that you'll notice that China doesn't really report anything. So with that 6.6 million people, it's probably a lot more, because we don't know anything about China. They just don't report. Remember that China has the largest population on the earth, and they don't report anything. Okay, they have it's like 1.2 billion people, 4 times the population of the US. Remember, the US has over 100 million cases and over 1 million deaths, and they're not even on the reports here. So look at all these countries here: the United States, India, France, Germany, Brazil, South Korea, Japan, Italy, United Kingdom, even Russia's here. And their top priority is not reporting COVID cases. So even Russia's here. And China, even Iran's here. Even Iran has reported 7.5 million cases. And China just doesn't, they're just not here. Even Ukraine has reported their cases. China's just not here. I mean, I think they're on here, all the way down here at the bottom of the list, with some tiny amount of cases that they have reported. 1.9 million cases. Oh, yesterday they reported 0 cases. 0 cases they reported. So we reported 122,934 cases. Like I said, here's the count for yesterday. By the way, India, which also has over 1 billion cases, 1 billion people, I mean, only reported 268 cases yesterday. So this just goes to show you that, like, India, the second world's largest population, again, probably grossly undercounting the amount of actual cases and actual deaths here. So India has 530,000 deaths, about half as many as the US. But remember, their population's over 1 billion as well. So again, a lot of these, like, what's the term that they use? Developing countries are probably grossly underreported. These countries are, I mean, India's trying to. They're trying to report it. But China's just really, honestly, they're just not reporting. And they reported 0 cases yesterday. They're just not reporting cases. So honestly, if the US has 1 million deaths, and China is 4 times the size of us population-wise, they probably have, I mean, you can let me know how many cases and deaths they have. Bloomberg reports that they have potentially 37 million cases per day going on right now that they have opened up their country, and it's a free-for-all. So now maybe they had a lot less cases previously because they were basically on lockdown. I mean, their country was full-blown lockdown before. In some cases, I mean, some points they were, and at some point they were and were not. But I mean, America, the land of freedom. But on the other hand, we've also had 1 million deaths, and some people take this seriously, and some people don't. I mean, I've read the comments of people that said they've lost loved ones. People have literally died from this. So on the other hand, yeah, you got to live your life, and I don't think people want to be on lockdown. It's something we have to deal with. It's something we have to deal with. So you guys can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. So I'll keep you up to date here on this, and this is a new travel policy that we have. If you're coming from China, you have to show a negative test, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. Remember, the Supreme Court just upheld Title 42, which says if you're coming over the border illegally, they're going to send you back. And honestly, personally, I think that's the right decision. There's a right way and a wrong way to come into the country. And if you're crossing over the border in the darkness of night to come over illegally, just not the right way to do it. So, I mean, you guys let me know your thoughts here in the comments, and I'll keep you up to date here on everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos. And thank you for liking and sharing these videos. You can click here to watch my newest video next, or you can click here to see the new Social Security raise payments and schedule going out right now. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.